we'd like to welcome to the set today a really special man. And we originally met Smiley over in Broken Hill. Smiley is a legend in his own country and is extremely well known around the region. So welcome to the show today, Guy Smiley Crawford.
Hi, Shaza.
That the past week in the studio, I've just loved your company. And it takes me back to the Brian Young days when I was out on tour with Youngie. Your music is very country, but with those beautiful rock rhythms that the Aboriginal people have. Can you tell me what your main influences were in music?
In the country, we used to play a lot of rock and roll. I mean, we played whatever came on the radio. If it was a fast song, we would get up and dance to that sort of stuff. But country was my main music. And I sort of took a lot of country music. I put a bit of rock and roll in and sort of mixed them together. And some of the country songs come out really good when I got a little bit of rock and roll in them.
Yeah, there's that real driving feel to your music, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I wanted to put a beat to them where you can sing them and also get up and have a dance to them. And this is where I've seen the most fun when people get on the dance floor for enjoying the song. They enjoy it even more.
You've been playing in bands for many, many years. How long have you been playing now?
We had the first band in the late 70s, yes, 75. We had a band in Brewarrina. I originally come from Brewarrina. I'm born and raised on the Brewarrina fish traps on the Barwon River. And we had our first band we had was called the Dodge City Rollers.
Yeah.
It was township just out of Brewarrina.
Yeah.
And we had a band there for a number of years, and I remember quite well. We used to get up and play the school assemblies on sports days. They would get us up to play 2 or 3 songs every Wednesday, and then it got better and better as it went along.
Yeah.
And then when we all left school, we sort of we done a few gigs here and there, that sort of stuff, and then of course everyone moved on. And but the band, we played a lot of rock and roll, and well, we always had that country. We always played country songs because there was those country music songs out that Slim sang, and some guitar picking that Lindsay Butler was playing. And
yeah, so you guys were probably the first of the genuine country rock where you blended that true country feel with the rock rhythms. And I love the music. When I used to tour out through the desert, I got to work and listen to some of the great Aboriginal talent all through Australia. And that was the thing that I carried with me, and I write a lot of those rhythms into my own music, which was a huge influence on my writing. And you've got that blend of that natural feel that you were born with.
My biggest influence in country music was when I was a kid growing up in Brewarrina, and these shows would come to town, the Slim Dudley show and Buddy Williams show and Ray Koenig's show, and I remember quite well we'd go to the old School of Arts building. You know, I'd also have a matinee hall on Saturday afternoons in the winter time, and I'd go there and watch all these country shows. And straight after school, if I knew they were setting up the gear, a couple of mates of mine, and wouldn't go straight home, we'd go straight down to the School of Arts, go in the back door and we'd listen to them setting up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember quite well one day Ray Koenig was there playing, and we were at the back. There would have been about, I reckon there would have been about 14 of us.
Oh, fantastic.
And we were at the back listening to him while he was setting up the equipment and running sound checks.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what that was. And he said, "Come through, fellas, come through." And we just shot all straight through the front door.
Yeah.
Through the back door and we just sat down and we just sat there watching. And then when they finished, it was time to go. And then that night, I reckon we probably about half done what probably the first lot back there.
Yeah.
Before the show started.
And that's how it was, like just the genuine enthusiasm when we would go into a community or into a town. The kids would actually run beside the rigs all the way into town, and they'd be just yelling out at us. They were just so happy, and there's some of my most vivid memories of the children back in the day. It's interesting that you talk about the shows that went to Brewarrina. I was on the other side where we were taking the show to the people out in the desert, and so it was just so much fun being part of that. The kids used to come into the hall and they were there all day with us. The only time they'd leave us from the minute we arrived at the communities, and when we'd say, okay, it's time to rest now, they'd all just go and have a rest. Did you do that too? You went home, rested, and then came back?
Yeah, and done the same thing.
Yeah, beautiful times.
It was always good to come back and bring me up back shows like them sort of shows were a really big influence on my life. And then later on back in the 90s, we started to take it a bit more serious. But then the artwork came along. I started doing this art stuff, and I got really involved in artwork and all that sort of stuff. And I actually went a fair distance with it. I ended up having I still have my own art gallery in my backyard in the shed. I got an art gallery builder there, and I took artwork pretty seriously until around about now. I sort of slowed down a bit. And
I did want to talk to you about your art because I know that that's a big part of your career, and so I did want to talk to you about that at length rather than just touch on that. The stories that you paint, you have a blend of the true traditional painting, but you've got a little modern edge to it, and I'd like you to talk about your art technique.
Well, most of my artwork I learned off my mum, and a lot of the colours of the newer paintings all represented a different area, like the water and the sky and the earth and that type of stuff. And the animals that came with it was what was in the stories. And some of them animals that were in the stories was some of the tribal totems, which, as you know, they weren't allowed to eat their tribal totems, stuff like that. Yeah, it was quite interesting.
The opening of your gallery, how did that eventuate? That is every artist's dream, to have their own gallery.
Yeah, I actually didn't have an opening. It was always there, and I always told people, and a lot of people were ringing me up and wanting to come down, look at this, look at that, and can I do this and that. So I'd say, yeah, give me a call and I'll meet you at the door. And a lot of them did, and I still get a fair few people through there actually.
So it's just the old adage, build it and they will come. So you originally just installed it just to store your own work, and it grew into a gallery.
Yeah, I was painting that much. I had all these paintings, and then I decided one day to build a display room. I call it a display room. A lot of people call it a gallery. Yeah. And then I put everything in there, and with the sculpture work and all that sort of stuff.
Fantastic. And you were good friends with Pro Hart too, the time living in Broken Hill. He was a great man, and you two were good friends.
Yeah, I knew Pro pretty well. I used to knock around with him when he used to go to the local church in Broken Hill. One of the churches that I knew, a couple of other parts I knew quite well there. And the closest thing I had with Pro, I knew him personally, but we painted one year on a canvas to raise money for a hospital machine. I think it might have been a dialysis machine or something.
Oh, fantastic.
And they got all these Broken Hill artists to paint this canvas, and then the canvas would cut in, all the painting would cut off and raffle off on this big, like a big community night. Great. Where there's a big raffle and sold all the paintings off. Mm-hmm. And everyone painted so really well, and the hospital did end up getting the dialysis machine in the end as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and I got an acknowledgement paper with Pro's name on it and my name and all the other artists' names on it. Just an easel painting board with all our names on it. Yeah, and but I'm not really big on trophies. I just put them on the shelf and that's it.
Hide them in the cupboard, mate. We lock ours in another building. We don't live with it. You've got to keep your feet on the ground, eh, Smiley?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'll take you back to your childhood because you did grow up in Bree. It was a pretty happy time for you as kids, wasn't it? Like pretty free and easy.
Yeah, pretty free and easy. Like I said, I grew up on the fish traps in Bree, and then we'd go camping and making canoes on the riverbank and catching fish in the fish traps. And I still use the fish traps these days. Especially in the night time when you get down there and you can catch most of the fish in the night, but you can catch them in the day as well when the fresh water comes in.
Yeah. Back then, kids just made their own fun, didn't they?
Yeah, made their own fun. And
you guys just it seems to be in your character to just have fun.
Well, when I lived on the fish traps in Brewarrina, we moved upstream to a little place called Billy Goat Bend. There was 4 families there at the time. It was called Billy Goat Bend when we moved, but we later changed to Barwon 4. in Brewarrina. Still exists today. We've still got a good community of people out there.
Yeah.
There's really nice people in Brewarrina.
They are.
And from later on there, we moved out to the mission, the 9 Mile mission out of Brewarrina.
9 Mile, right.
We was out there for a few years, and then we moved back into town, and then everybody sort of grew up and moved on.
Yeah.
But then I went to Broken Hill for a long weekend to see my brother. I got a brother named Jack. We called him the Ringer from the top end. And I went out to Broken Hill to see him actually. And when I got there, he was actually in Adelaide.
Oh.
And I went over in the car, and whilst I was there, my car blew up. Yeah, so I sold it to the wreckers. And I used the bond money. I got myself a flat in Broken Hill.
And you were stuck there?
Yeah, and when he came back, he said, "Smiley, what are you doing over here?" I said, "I come to see you, my brother." Say good day. He said, "How long are you over for?" I said, "I just moved here." And I've been there for 26 years.
Yeah,
I just stayed because the car broke down.
But you're pretty happy there, mate. You're part of the mob now.
I wouldn't leave Broken Hill for quids, mate.
No, it's an amazing place too. It's got its own soul, hasn't it?
Yeah, in the 90s we started up the band I'm working with now called the Backtrack band.
Yes.
And we've been up to places like Tillabara and Mildura and Wilcannia, Burke, Brewarrina, a lot of other places.
You guys are one of the busiest bands out there. You play it down a little bit, but you guys are a pretty big noise out in that region.
Yeah, we've done a few gymkhanas and road day and stuff like that out there. And our main object is going on to Brewarrina and Burke and them areas.
Yeah.
They're the areas we love the most.
Yes. Going home.
Only because that's where our art is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially mine.
Yeah. And you'd have family spread all over the country out there.
Yeah, I've probably got more relation to kangaroos, mate. I've got a lot of family spread all over the place out that way.
Talking about that, how many children do you have?
Oh yeah, I have 2 sons and 3 daughters.
Fantastic. That's a big mob.
Yeah. Good
And they all have kids. That's a big mob.
Yeah. Yeah, we got enough grannies to keep us going. We got something like about 15 grannies, something like that. Yeah. I think I actually have 12 grandsons and 3 granddaughters.
Great.
But,
Great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Can I just talk to you a little bit about your community work? You do a lot for the old people in Broken Hill.
Yeah, we now and again we turn up. Sometimes I go down to the old folks and do a bit of stuff for them.
Yeah.
And I haven't been down there for a while because they had a lot of changes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I used to go to Broken Hill South Library when I always go to the library and have a big lunch and that sort of stuff. I also used to take the guitar out there and they'd name the song and if we didn't know we'd all sing along together.
Yeah.
But I'd get on the guitar and someone would get up, stand up and sing a song and clap and laugh and dance and we were happy if they only just knew half the song. Because that's all I knew about the song.
That's all that matters, the half you know.
But they knew the rest, so I was happy.
I know you've done a lot of work with the old people, but the children as well. You've nurtured a lot of young children musically and in art. Like you're a pretty important mentor to a lot of kids.
Yeah, I've got four little fellas there. The eldest will be about 13. They come in home now and again. I take them with guitar work. I just basic chord and that sort of stuff. And I've got a drum set up there and I like getting on the drums. And I've only got 4 of them coming at the moment, but they turn up quite often.
I just wanted to talk to you about your current band, Backtrack band. Your current crop of musicians, they're nice boys?
Yeah, there's me and my son and a couple of more mates in there. And we're looking forward to going to Tamworth actually next year. We're going to maybe doing a performance in Tamworth. And because we're going 4-piece, we've got more chance of going into different areas. And next year we're going to be probably doing more places. But all the coronavirus at the moment is slowing everybody down.
It's all up in the air at the moment. But I know that we're going to have you guys play some shows with us over here if you make it across to Tamworth. And we're really excited about getting your album out. It's going to be a really good album. I've got to say that I love the music, and as I said before, it transported me back to my days in the desert. But some of the songs on there, you've handpicked your songs pretty carefully for that album too, Smiley.
Yeah. Most of the songs that we handpicked were the songs that a lot of people sing in the community, and because we knock around with so many of them in the community, we pick the songs up and we take them to practice. And when they come to the club and we play them, well, it gets them back in again.
Yeah. So you chose the songs because they were the songs the fans wanted you to play, like your mob wanted you to play?
Yeah, and sometimes when I'd meet some mates in the street or go fishing, and they'd say, Smiley, why don't you learn this one? Why don't you learn that one? Why don't you learn this one? And I said, I'll have a crack at it for you.
Yeah. You also spent a little bit of time in New Zealand because I noticed that your rhythm's just a little bit different, and your style reminded me of a hybrid between the Aboriginal desert rock and the Maori that I worked with years ago. They've got just that slightly different rhythm, and you have that rhythm.
Yeah. About the most time I spent over there would probably be about 6 weeks. I went up twice. And whilst I was there, I went and actually watched this band playing called the Kiwi Cowboys, they were.
Yeah.
And I went to watch these guys playing, these Maori guys, and they was doing this strumming, and I was watching it. And when I came back, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to try this drum, I'm going to put it in some music, and I put it in a lot of the stuff that I play, or not a lot of it, but a lot of the stuff I play.
Yeah.
And it came out completely different.
Yeah, it is.
So we sort of stuck with that, and when we were playing three-piece, I covered it with that sort of rhythm.
Yes.
And our own Australian sort of rhythm.
That's right.
Mixed them both up, and that's why we were three-piece for so many years.
Yeah, it's a great blend. It really works.
Yeah.
And you're a pretty deadly musician, like you're a handy guitar player. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned off watching other people.
Yeah. Like who?
My biggest country music guitar player is Lindsay Butler.
Okay.
Yeah, and I never ever dreamed one day that I'd be, up here making a record with him or album with him.
And going to watch the footy with him the other night. You sat up in the lounge there?
I watched the footy with him, never been with him. I never even thought anything like that.
I wish his team had lost. They won, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm glad his team won.
Anyway, it was really special time that we've had with you here, Smiley, and I have to say, I feel that it's an absolute privilege to have met you as a person. You remind me so much of the blokes that I've met over the years, and you've just got a happy heart and you've got a beautiful soul, and I feel all the richer for having met you, mate. So thank you for being part of our life for a short time, and I hope we have many more times together into the future.
Well, I'd like to say thank you very much, Shaza, on behalf of myself, and when my band come through, the Backtrack band, we look forward to making an appearance on the Lindsay Butler show in Timworth.
Beautiful, mate.
And it's been a privilege and an honour to catch up with you.
Thank you very much, mate. We've loved doing the album, and we think that people are going to love it. So everyone make sure you go and buy the Guy Smiley Crawford album. Out soon.
Cool, I'm just me.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, Smiley.
Down at the railroad station, the people getting on. Some are going north, some are going south. I'm just going to be gone. Some people are born to be taken, others just want to give. Some people live just to love, but I just love to live. Where I was just born to be exactly what you see, nothing more or less. I'm not the worst or the best, but I just try to be exactly what you see, today and every day. I'm just me.
life is rough. I wonder compared to what some are wanting more, the more are getting less. I just want what I've got, someone to live on a hill, others down by the sea, someone to live beside highway. I just want to live free, for I was just born to be exactly what you see, nothing more or less. I'm not the worst or the best, I just try to be exactly what you see, today and every day. I'm just me, for I was just born to be exactly what you see, nothing more or less. I'm not the worst or the best, I just try to be exactly what you see, today and every day. I'm just me, today and every day. I'm just me.